Welcome back into Good Morning Colorado. You're taking a look at Fowler this morning where things are pretty quiet out there, but a beautiful skyline to look forward to as you get your Sunday started. The time now is 6:40. Let's turn things over to Storm Tracker 13's Marty V. A lot less gusty out there than we saw yesterday, Marty.
Yeah, nice to be able to report that, by the way. Pretty shot, by the way, at Pikes Peak is seen from overhead door near Powers and Galley. The sun's just now cresting the eastern horizon. It's starting to light up the higher terrain here on the west side of town. Trees aren't moving much because the wind is pretty light, at least in most of eastern Colorado. But we still have some pockets of wind over and near the mountains. Canyon City, Denver, both reporting some wind speeds up around 15 to 20 miles an hour. And that's helping to keep the temperatures in those areas a little bit warmer with 20s and 30s. But as you get away from the mountains, you have single digits and teens wherever the wind has lightened up. And that's been true in both Colorado Springs and Pueblo this morning. Do notice the 30s here near the southern mountains. That's an area where we have had enough wind stirring up the atmosphere through the night. So, 6 in one, half a dozen the other. Where you don't have the wind that's chillier, where it's a little warmer, well, it's because it's windy. Now, Futurecast is showing that we'll continue with some pockets of wind, mainly over and near the mountains here through the day today. It's going to be much, much lighter across the plains. So I don't want to convey that we're not expecting any wind today. It will be pretty breezy at times, especially near the higher terrain, but it's not going to be nearly as gusty as it was yesterday. And we're also not expecting precipitation to be much of a threat today, outside of maybe a few flurries up across the northern part of the state, mainly along the Continental Divide. So sunshine throughout the day today, high temperatures, and it'll take a little while to get there, especially where there's no wind this morning. But generally speaking, in the 50s to lower 60s in eastern Colorado, 30s and 40s over the high country, probably 50s for the southern valleys. I think the warming will occur a little bit quicker on the higher terrain than it will for low-lying areas today. And we'll end up in the mid-40s to lower 50s around Teller County, where I do think we'll have some wind gusts occasionally around 20 to 25 miles an hour. I don't think it'll be quite that gusty here in Colorado Springs, maybe a little bit more up on the Palmer Divide. Most areas will spend most of the afternoon, I think, in the 50s. We'll probably hit the lower 60s, though, from about downtown Colorado Springs southward. I think lower 60s will be commonly found along the Arkansas River. Westcliff may remain in the 40s, but otherwise 50s to around 60 near the mountains. Again, nearer to the mountains, I do think there will be some wind today, probably gusting around 20 miles an hour on occasion, but not the 50-mile-an-hour plus stuff that we saw yesterday. And then tonight, no big changes, really. We keep the sky clear here in eastern Colorado. Although the air will be warming overhead, I think we'll keep the wind relatively light, and it's going to be a real dry air mass in place tonight. So we're still going to cool pretty efficiently. I think tomorrow morning we'll wake up with a mixture of 20s and 30s, likely warmest near the mountains. High country should fall back into the teens, and that'll be true for many of our mountain valleys as well. Right now, Highway 115 in Turkey Creek looking south. Can't find a cloud in the sky this morning. Don't think we'll have a lot of them today. A little bit here and there maybe in the afternoon. We'll track some less windy days, I think, as we move into the work week. With that will come some warmer air. Looks real nice, actually, for most of the week. But late in the week, we'll start to see some changes, and we'll talk about that coming up soon.
Yeah, nice day, especially if you're looking to get outside and enjoy that Sunday. Thanks, Marty.
You're welcome.